Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Please kindly like and subscribe. So this is regards to the project of the simple calculator. So all we just need to do now is to go to our Visual Studio Code, and then we'll now start the project. So I'm currently opening my Visual Studio Code. So now the aim of this project is like we're going to be using a scanf function, which is going to collect three user inputs. So the function of scanf is basically to like receive user input, right? So we want to receive input from it. But when we're talking about printf is just basically for outputting, like you're printing out, you're giving out. But like scanf is for usually for accepting. So now this scanf will be taking three inputs. One will be naming one the value one, the second one will be naming it the operator, that is the sign, and the third one we're going to be naming it value 2, so that we can have like 5 plus 5, which will be value 1, operator, value 2. So that's how the project is going to go. So we're going to be dealing with products, multiplication. We're going to be dealing with addition, that is plus. We're also going to be dealing with division. That's what our calculator is going to do. It's going to do division, it's going to do subtraction. So let's get started. So first of all, we need to come to our file. So this is my file. So firstly, I need to create a folder. So I'll go to my desktop, since I want to create a folder here. So I'll just right click here and come to new. I want to create the folder on my desktop so that I can be able to access it. So I'll come here and name it folder. I will now name it C project. So I've named my folder C project. So this is my C project. So now all I just need to do is to now go into it and then create my file. So all I just need to do, come to my VS Code, then come to file. So now I'll now click on open folder. So now this folder I'm going to come to my desktop. So you can see that I have a folder called C project. So I can click on it, and inside it then I'll now say select the folder. So that's the folder it has currently selected for me. So now I'm currently in the folder here. So since I'll be doing a lot of C project, so I'll just name this one as my base project, C project. So now I'm going to now come to this place and click this plus sign, so I can create a new folder, and I'm going to name the folder calculator, a simple C calculator. So this is the folder. So I'll just name it simple underscore C calculator. So simple C underscore calculator. So that is it. So I've currently named it. So if I click this button, okay, let me simple underscore C calculator. Okay, that's already, the other one has already showed. So let me just delete this one. So I'll come here, or you can just click on it and click delete on your system. Move to recycle bin. Please move to recycle bin. Delete permanently. So now I've already deleted it. So now this is my C simple C calculator. So if I go back to my folder, you can see that I have simple C calculator. So this is my project. So all I just need to do now, I go to my Visual Studio Code and click on it. So I'm now going to now click on what, new file. So inside that my simple C calculator, I will now name the file called calculator.c, right? Calculator.c. So you can also name our readme. You can create a readme. So first of all, let's create our readme. readme.md, and I'll just click enter. Also, so you can see my readme.md here. So inside my readme.md, I will just write this so that people will be able to understand what my project. So this is a C project on a simple calculator that uses the addition, multiplication, and multiplication, also uses division, also uses subtraction, addition, multiplication, division, and also use the powers too, because we're dealing with power and power, so raised to the power. So this is a simple project on a C project on a simple calculator that uses the addition, multiplication, division, subtraction, and the power function. So let me name it power function. Full stop. This will contain three three arguments in our scanf. So the function of this scanf is for what? Basically to receive inputs. So let me just say to scanf to receive inputs that contains three arguments that contain three arguments in our scanf. That is to receive inputs. That is the function of the scanf, to receive inputs. So the argument we'll be dealing with is one value. We name one value 1. So name one value 1. The next one we'll be dealing with operator, and the third will be value 2. So value 2. So let me change this one to capital, value 1 operator, and the third will be value 2. So this is our readme. So now that I've done our readme, all we just need to do is to come back to this folder and now create our file. So inside this folder, we'll now name our new C file. We'll name it calculator.c. So when you just say calculator.c, automatically you see this C logo. So that means you're in right track. You just click enter. So now this is my C. So now in this project, since we're dealing a calculation, we always use the standard input output dot header, right? So first of all, say hash include std io.h. So in regards to setting up your Visual Studio for C programming project, that's real life project, so I made a video previously on how to set it up. Please kindly refer to the video. So this is a project of simple calculator. We'll be dealing with other projects like school management system moving forward. So this is the in regards to calculator, making the simple calculator. So hash includes standard input output header. So the standard input output header works that you are receiving the inputs and it's also giving the output. That's why we'll be dealing with printf and scanf. So that's the function of the standard input output header. So the next one we'll be dealing with is hash include standard library. So now this standard library we're importing. This standard library will be helping us with all these float, car, and other functions such as switch, like to switch the operator, scanf, and all those kind of operator. So that if we want to change this case from division to multiplication, we're going to be using the that is the standard library. So we'll now name it standard library .h. Then we'll now hit enter. So I've named it standard library. So the next one will be include is string.h. So we'll name it hash include, then we'll now name it string, because we're dealing with arguments. So string h. So hash includes string.h. Then the next one will be importing is what we're doing, we're importing the header file. So the next one we'll be importing is, since we're dealing with mathematics and other mathematical functions, we'll name it maths dot what h. So I've imported it. So now at this point, all we just need to do is to now say create our main function. So to create our main function, we'll say int main, then open brackets and say int a.exe. Since we're dealing with an argument that changes from one function to another, we're not just going to just say int main, but we're going to now say int argument c. So that this int argument c is also known as what? Int argument count, right? It's also known as int argument count. So it's also known as int argument count. And the next one we'll be bringing is char. So this is for the character, all those multiplication, division. So this one is also named as star argument, arg argument vector, right? Argument vector. So this is the vector that will be changing from one operator to another. So this is our main function, int argument count, int argument count, and card star asterisk argument vector. So this is for a vector. So now this int argument c, is a kind of a parameter that represents the number of command, the line argument, so it's kind of a kind of an argument that receives the number of command line argument you put. Yeah. So and this argc helps to count. It's just like an argument count. It counts the number of command line you have already done. And the next one is argument vector. So we have the argument count and we also have the argument vector. So now this first argument, which is argument c, it helps to count the number of line passed, and also include the name of the program that will be executed. So this is it. And we also have the argument vector. So now we'll go straight to the coding aspect. So we'll just hit enter. So as usual, we usually need to open our curly bracket. So everything I'm going to write is inside this main. As we did, the main function is just like the brain box, because it's just like the starting of everything. So that's where the main and every programming is going to start working, after including all your header files, your standard input, output header, your standard library, your string .h, and your mass function. So the main thing is the int main. So if you just remove this int main here, this program is nonsense. It's not going to work at all. But with this int main, it makes your program useful. So now all you just need to do is now name it float value. So we need to receive it's just a simple calculator that receives two value. So I'll name this one value 1. I'm going to name the other one value 2. So the reason why we're using float is because float, it contains like decimals, right? If we're just using int value 1, that means we're not going to get anything like decimal. We'll just get like, if it's 5, it's 5. But with help of this float, you can get like 5.2, 5.3, like that. So now we'll just name it value, value 2. Then we'll now, so now what we're doing, we're declaring our variable. So this value 1 is a variable, this value 2 is a variable. So now the next thing we'll be dealing is char. So now this char is just basically for a symbol. Let me just use it like in that word, or a single word. So now in our operator, we'll be dealing with plus, subtraction, division, asterisk for multiplication. So we'll just name this one operator. So now we're currently declaring. Then the next one will be dealing with float, which is the answer is going to bring to us. So after summing, for example, value 1 plus value 2 will give us an output, which will be a float. So answer. So I'll name it my answer. So I've named it my answer. So I'll hit enter. So now what do I want my user to get before they start solving their problem. That's what I'm going to type here. So now that's a print, enter your calculation. So I want my users to enter your calculation. So what do you want to calculate? Or you can name it, what do you want to calculate? Or enter your calculation. So anyhow you want to do it, you can easily access it. So enter your calculation. So this is it. I'm going to be linking this the source code in my GitHub or in the description below. So so I want there to be a new line. I don't want everything to be on a line. So now this new line will create a new line when my user wants to kind of input the answer or the calculation you want to do. Enter your calculation, then one line. So I want to create another line. So there will be enter your calculation, one free line, another line. That's all. Then my user can now enter his calculation. So I'll now use this semicolon to end it. So now the next thing is that I want it to scanf. As I said earlier on in the beginning of the video, that this scanf is used to accept input. So now the first input I'm going to put is %f. So now the meaning of this %f is for what? Float. So it's going with this guy, float. Then the next one I'll use %c. So now %c is for what? Character. So this is the character here. And I'm going to also use %f. So now float, 5 plus 5. So 5.0 for example is a float, then plus is a car, then the 5.0 is the float. So this is it. Then I'll now put my comma. So now I want to now specify to where it's supposed to go. So now this argument I just wrote, I want to now specify to where it wants to go. So let it first of all go to my, so now this and is just like a memory, right? It's a memory that stores. So now this and will now go with value 1. So I'll just name it value 1. So that is value 1. So now the next one now, so now this value 1 is this float and it's for this first one. So now the next one I'm going to do is for and operator. So I'll now name operator. So I'm taking the these variables I put, and I'm now giving it memory. I'm giving it ideas on how to work. So now we have value 1, we have operator. So now the next one will be going to, we'll now be naming, we'll put our comma and we'll now say and value 2, right? And value 2. So you can automatically see it here, and value 2. So now as usual, we usually need to end it. So now we have ended it, then we'll now hit enter. So now we have done what the user, when the user come to want to calculate, you first of all tell the user enter your calculation. So when he now enter his calculation, he can now type the input using the scanf. So the scanf will now take in all the input the user is putting. But now we need a switch. So now this function of the switch we are going to put is that if the user want to use and, he can use if the user wants to use addition, he can use addition. If the user wants to use multiplication, he can use multiplication. If the user wants to use division, he can use division. And also if the user wants to use subtraction, he can use subtraction. Or if you want to use a power or raise to power, he can use. So I'll first of all say switch, switch. So now reference this operator here. So now this is the operator I'm referencing here. Then I'll now hit enter. So now inside this operator, let me just say it's like a function now. So now inside this function of the operator, I'm going to now open my curly braces and now start specifying. So now the switch operator work with case. So I'll now say case. So now let this case be for division. So I'll now put my column. So I have my answer. Let my answer enter. Let my answer be equal to value 1, right? Then I'll now reference this case that I put here, then value 2. So are we together? Then this is it. So now the next thing is that I need to put a break, right? So after the user put it, it's just like you're inside a loop, a for loop. So it's just like a kind of a continuous system. So if you want to just exit that that kind of loop, you have to use the break. So the break you just loop you out of the loop. So now I've already exit from the break. So now we'll now go to the next one. So we want a case of what? Multiplication. So I'll now put my quote, then I'll now put my asterisks, then I'll now put my column, then I'll now say my answer. What do I want my answer to do? equals to what? Value 1 times value 2. So value 2. So this is it. Value 1 times value 2. So now next thing is to what? Press my break so that I can exit from the loop. So the next case I'm going to enter is addition. So I'll say case, then I'll now put my quote, then I'll now put plus, then put my quote. What do I want my answer to do? Answer equals to what? Value 1. You see, automatically it's already showing plus what? Value 2. Plus value 2. Enter. I end with my semicolon. I need to come and press my break, close it, then enter. So now the next thing for me to do, I need to create a case with subtraction. So I'll put quote minus, for my subtraction, then put my column. Then I want my answer to be equal to value 1, minus value 2. So this is it, value 1 minus value 2, and I hit enter. I need a break, so I will now put a break. So now after putting my break, so now the next one I want to put is power, so that they can say 5 raised to power 2 is 25, or 12 raised to power 2 which is 144. So I need to put a case called case of power. So I'll just put my quote, then exponential. So this is my exponential. So this is it. So I need my answer to be equal to, since I'm dealing an exponential, I need to be equal to what? Power. So this power now is a function of this math.h library. It's a function of this math.h library. Then I'll now put my what? Value. So value 1 comma raised to power of what? Value 2. So this is it. I've already written it, so I'll just come and put my semicolon to what? End it. Then I'll now hit enter to what? Break, and I'll put my semicolon. So after writing it, I need to also create another condition that if my user do not follow these 5 operators I've already given, such as division, multiplication, addition, subtraction, and exponential, let the user go to the mode that will tell you fail, right? Since he didn't put this condition, so we'll just name it default. So we want a default. So now this default will just automatically, if this one works, it did not go, this one doesn't go, automatically, if any of this above doesn't work, automatically let it go to what? Fail. So to notify the user that failed, that there's an error in his code. So we'll just close it. So now I've now closed my switch condition. So now I'm going to press enter. So I need to delete this one here. So now I'm exited from my switch condition. So now the next thing for me to do is to type printf. So now this printf will now be what is going to be the output to my user. So I'll now name it printf. So now this printf, I'll now put quotes. So now we're going to now be using some specifiers like %.9g. So you can see that in most of it we F for float, C for car, F for float. So now this %g is very, very useful because it contains exponential, and also exponential is %e, and it contains exponential and float. So it's kind of universal. So this 0.9 means 9 decimal place. So we'll just say %C. So %g. So now this %g is for this my floating value, right? This is what is going to output. So this for value 1, which is %.9g. So it can only take up to 9 decimal places. So this is the first one, %9g. Then this operator is for %c. So now the next one I'm going to do is %c. Then I'm going to now say percentage point for my other value 2. So I'll just name it %.9g, right? So I say this %g is very, very useful if you're dealing with exponential, dealing with float, all these long numbers. So after doing that, I'm going to now say equal to. So it's now taking what my user will type. So if my user say 5 plus 5, it's going to now take it. So now what I'm now going to type next is it will now be the answer. So I want my answer to be in 6 decimal place, no matter what he types. So the maximum he can type is 6. So it will just become %.6g. Then I also want it to be a new line, then /n for a new line. So after doing this, so this one will be what my user will type, and this will be the output, right? This is going to be the output. So now after typing this code, all I just need to do is to now put the real meaning of what I put. So I'll now say value 1. So my value 1 comma operator. So now this value 1 is for this %.9g. This operator is for %c, and I'll now put my comma for value 2. So this value 2 now is for this %.9g. So after doing it, and I'll now put comma, then I'll now write my what answer. So now this answer is for this %.6g. So after doing it, I'll just type my what, my column. So this one is showing fail. We'll just come here. If it shows you like this, you just come to quick fix, just say control, just click on fix. So disable error struggles, just disable it and you're good to go. Then we'll just click on here. So after doing that, we want it to go to exit. Let it just exit the terminal, right? So that it will not just be showing our user the output. So maybe our user want to go and do other things. We'll just say exit. So this will automatically exit from the question terminal. So we'll just put our field. So in case if he types something wrong, it will just show fail. Then we'll now say print f. So print f. So if this is regards to f, so print f. This regards to fail, so this is regards to fail. That is print f. So just open our bracket and now write our comment fail dot fail full stop. Then we want it to be in new line /n. Then we'll now put our end it with our semicolon, then exit. So if he gets it correctly and gets his answer, he should exit. And if he fails it, it should also exit. So we want it to also exit. So just our final comment should be return 0, then semicolon. So I finished writing our program. So it takes 2 inputs with an operator and gives the answer. So this is it. So all you just need to do is to now right click, right, or better still, you must always ensure to save, Control S, so that you won't get an error. So just save everything so that it will be stored in the memory. So after saving it, we just right click, then we'll now say Control Alternate N or run code. So I'll just type run code. So you can see we have automatically a calculator.exe here. So now at this point, all we just need to do, come to terminal, right? So everything we're going to be running is in this terminal here. So we have to now say GCC, right? This is a compiler. We have to say GCC space, right? Then you now write this file name, calculator.c. Calculator.c. So we want to compile our calculator.c. So we'll just hit enter. So the reason why we are having this error is because we haven't currently entered into the simple_c calculator, right? We haven't entered into the C. So I'll just say ls so that I can list what is inside my CD. So I'll now say cd simple_c_calculator. So this is it, cd simple_c calculator. I'll just hit enter. So currently I'm inside it. So if I say ls, you can see that I have my readme calculator.c, calculator.exe. So at this point, all I just need to do is to say gcc I wanna say calculator.c. so this GCC is going to now compile it. So you can see that so it's going to now compile it and generate a.exe file. So it's currently compiling. So you can see that we have an a.exe file. So now that a.exe file, all we just need to do now is to now say, come there and just type we'll just say we'll just type the a.exe file, then hit enter. So now you can see that when we say a.exe, it enter your what calculation as given in our code. So what we're going to now do, we're going to do division, we'll do multiplication, addition, subtraction, and what power. So we'll just say 5 plus 10 and hit enter. You can see 5 plus 10 is what 15. So now let's go to the next one. So let's go to division. So we'll now say 8. So first, every time you have to come to this a.exe and hit enter. So it will now say enter your calculation. So what I want to divide now is now say 9 divided by 6 and now hit enter. So 9 divided by 6 is equals to 1.5, and this 1.4f is a what float. So this is it. So now I'll now say a.exe. So now the next one I want to do is multiplication. I'll just hit enter. What do I want to multiply? Let me say 6 times 9. So I'll just say 6 times 9 and I hit enter. So you can see 6 times 9 is equal to what 54. So I'll just say a.exe. So now the next one I want to do is subtract. So I'll just say 1000 minus 10,000 minus 5,000. I'll just hit enter. You see 10,000 minus 5,000 is 5,000. So the next one I want to do is power. I'll just a.exe, then hit enter. What do I want to power? I want to say 5 raised to power of, or 2 raised to power of 4, which is so I'll now say 2 raised to power of 4, enter. You can see it's what 16. So this is in regards to it. We created to do a brief recap. We have our hash include, standard input, hash include, standard library, string, maths. We use this int argument c for each argument count. They have argument vector. So this argument vector works with this switch because we are switching. Are also dealing with different operator. We also have our case, you know, star, plus, subtraction, exponential, and let's do something that will give us an error. So we'll just say a.exe. So what I want to do, let me just use 5 and 6. There's nothing like this. So you can see it output fail based on what we have already specified here, fail. And anytime it fail, it automatically exits from this a.exe. So thank you. Please anticipate more, you know, projects that will be coming. Thank you. Please kindly like and subscribe.